So yes, hello and hi everyone, and welcome to our open door Q&A session, Ask Us Anything. My name is Liz Carter and I'm the email marketing manager here at Charity Digital, and I will be your host for today's session. So I thought for those that are joining us for the first time, we will kick off with just a bit of context about our mission. To those that don't know, really. Charity Digital, we are a charity that helps other charities to increase their impact by being more digital. And we have two primary charitable activities, which are providing access to software products that charities need at dramatically reduced prices, and also publishing content such as articles, podcasts, videos, and running webinars and events that educate charity professionals and volunteers on how to make better use of digital tools and technologies. Now, we are here today to answer any questions you've got, and thank you so much to those that have pre-submitted your questions, which is brilliant, and we do have quite a lot to get through. So the questions are about our services that we provide, and we're here to give you guidance, all that you need, and encourage knowledge sharing as well between all of us. So if you do have any tips or knowledge, please feel free to put it in the chat there. Before I go on, I just want to introduce our team members. So we have Joel, first of all, who's then going to hand over to James.
Thank you, Liz. Yeah. Hi, everyone. Nice to see so many of you. My name's Joel Hogan. I'm the programs manager here at Charity Digital. Been around for nearly 6 years now, and feels like I've done lots of different roles at Charity Digital, from frontline work to account management and other strategic work as well. And yeah, it's just always a pleasure to be able to deliver impact to our community and make charities that we work with more digital. Over to you, James.
Thanks, Joel. I'm James. I'm the e-commerce manager here at Charity Digital. I'll be helping out today with all the questions, answering a few myself. And yeah, just to echo what Joel says, it's great to see you all face to face and just have all these open conversations, especially, we'll answer as best we can, but if you know a tip, stick it in the chat. It's really nice to have this knowledge sharing session between us all. So thank you. Back to Liz.
Great, thank you, James. Yeah, we do get quite a lot out of these sessions, actually. It's really good for us as well. So yes, but I just want to remind you before we carry on and crack on with the questions that this webinar is being recorded, and the recording with the subtitles, slides and supporting resources will be made available to you over the next coming days. So keep your eye on your inbox for that. So if you've got a question you would like to be answered, as well as we will first of all start off the questions that have been submitted previously. So if you've got a question, please pop it in the chat box. And yeah, we'll run through these, starting with the ones that have been submitted, and then we'll work our way through the questions that you would be putting in the chat too. Once the session has ended, please, if you need to pop off any earlier before it does finish, then you will be prompted for feedback, and please give us your thoughts on how we can continue to help your organization. Really does benefit us, and it would only take a few minutes of your time just to share your thoughts. So let's start off with the questions. And the first one we have from Voluntary Impact Northamptonshire Limited. And they say, we are a registered charity starting a fundraising campaign, and would like to use a tap to donate card reader in our premises shop window. I can see that you can do this with Zettel. I hope that's the right pronunciation, or SumUp. Are these card readers standalone, or do they need to be connected to a smartphone in order to receive payments? I'm going to take a stab at that one and start it off. We aren't connected to these charities, these organizations, sorry, that have been mentioned. But these don't also mention the need of a smartphone. So Zettel needs access to PayPal. The SumUp devices seem to require a smartphone, but it really is worth your while asking both of these directly. Okay, I'm going to move over to the second question, which is from the same charity. Similarly, we have staff out and about with Android phones, and I've seen that there is a possibility they could have an app on their phone which enables people to give. It seems that these apps are only Android enabled. Is that correct? Give a Little has the clearest information about its app. If we were to download the app, would we need a card reader as well? It seems it only works with SumUp card reader, so that would point us in getting one of those, either a SumUp Air or a SumUp Solo. Any advice on these would be appreciated. Again, my advice would be you may want to contact these resellers directly for a breakdown on how the apps work and if they are specifically associated with Android or smartphones, or if they have hardware which can collect donations with the software. So, yep, that's great. I'm just having a look in the chat as well. Yeah, there's some really good comments in there. Thank you. I'm going to move on to our next question. Joel, I'm going to ask you this. Citizen Advice Liverpool. What is the best free videoing editing software? Any recommendations? And how do I get started with Google Grants and Ads?
Sure. So firstly, you might want to check out our recent article on free tech, which we posted in a moment, already has been. Thank you, James, for being a star with that. Just an overall view of free tech is really useful for everyone in the charity sector. Now, we don't currently work with organizations that provide free video editing software specifically. Our free tech article doesn't talk about free video editing either. It's more sort of image editing and that side of things instead. And one thing to, I guess, to watch out for with sort of free software is that sometimes they come with other parts which may be overlooked. For example, you could be signing up for something without knowing. Sometimes they also come with sort of ad bots, which can kind of follow you everywhere as well. So just always to be a little bit be cautious when searching for free software. Our article on free software outside of video editing has all been checked in terms of like that they, you know, it's good to work with those. They don't have any of the things that I've just mentioned. Well, with regard to Google Ads, we also have a, you might want to check out TechSoup courses. They actually have courses on how to use Google AdWords and grants as well. And it's quite low cost for the course as well. So you might want to, yeah, go in that direction in terms of Google Ads and Google Words.
Great, thank you so much, Joel. Thank you. There's another one for you, Joel. I'm going to refer this one to you as well. Ickle Pickles Children's Charity are asking, I'll be interested to hear your advice for free video editing software. I've used Adobe Premiere Pro in the past, but my small charity can't afford the license fees. Canva is great, but a bit limited.
Okay, yeah, I guess it's kind of like the same answer I've just provided. We don't work with anyone with providing free editing, like trusted video editors. We're not working that provide free video editing at the moment. We don't work with. Obviously, you might see some suggestions in the chat, but may not be something that we've mentioned on our website in that sense. But by all means, again, check out our recent article for free tech. Yep, Canva does have its limitations. I do think it's great. You might also want to check out Adobe Express. As well as it's a little bit similar to Canva, but obviously in the world of Adobe has a great back catalogue of images and video editing as well.
Thank you. Thanks, Joel. Thanks for that. That was a great answer. And thanks, James, for putting the links in the chat. So don't forget, everyone, to be checking out the chat, and also you will have the links that will be sent to you with the slides as well. So the next question, Joel, again, digital fundraising. I'd be interested to hear about best practices around promoting fundraising events online.
Digital fundraising. Okay. So yeah, go ahead, James.
Sorry, James.
Yeah,
no, sorry, James. I'll give this one to you. Yeah, you're the expert.
Yeah, sorry, I was scrambling away in the background. So yeah, it was best practices on digital fundraising. Is that correct?
Yes, that's it. Yeah.
So sorry about that.
Shall I repeat the question?
All good. I think I'm all good. Yeah, we've got plenty of content that can help with digital fundraising. We've actually in the last week recently refurbished loads of our content hubs. So I will post a link here to our digital fundraising hub. So it lays out the essentials, it has webinars and useful products, and also has a useful section to point out sector learning. So that's a really good sort of base. I'd also recommend joining us in November for our digital fundraising summit. So this year's theme is the future of fundraising, and will inform you on emerging digital fundraising ideas and empower you to try new things. So that is a free event, which I will post here. And then finally, so November is a few months away, but you can also catch up on last year's summit to kind of get useful insights and just see what's in store in November. So you can watch the recordings of the sessions here in this link that I post. And all of these, the questions, the answers, and the links will be sent round in a sort of Q&A article style article after the event. So yeah, that's the digital fundraising.
That's brilliant. Thanks, James. Thank you for posting those links. I know that you're doing a lot in the background there, and to answer
Yes,
a
sorry if I
question,
was
we're putting all
scrambling a
the
little
links
bit.
in is fantastic. So yeah, we really do appreciate it. Okay, Sprout and Playing Field are asking, we are a small charitable trustee team of 8. Which product is most suitable to enable us to collectively create documents and store them in a shared drive storage location, trust, deeds, policies? We also need a consistent email capability, like a work email, rather than us using different personal addresses. Being a small operation, we're keen to avoid ongoing cost commitments if possible, but recognise we may need to pay for document storage. And given that we're not very PC literate, are there some very simple instructions on how to get set up, or could you help us, please? Joel, thank you.
Yeah, sure. So based on your sort of what you're after, so both email and storage, and just sort of you're looking at sort of things like cost as well, I think Microsoft 365 could be a great option for you. And there are lots of charity discounts available, including via ourselves as well out there, so you can get really affordable costs like ongoing costs, or you have the option to maybe pay annually as well if you don't want to sort of pay monthly, that kind of thing. There are Microsoft 365 products, and most of them, not all, but most of them provide 1 terabyte of storage per user, which I think is a huge amount of space for something in the world of Microsoft and emails. It's pretty large. And moving to Microsoft 365 will also allow you to centralize all of your emails as an organization, keep your users and emails all in one place, rather than all your users using their individual emails. Moving to 365 will allow you to share documents and overall collaborate a lot more effectively. So yeah, I would suggest moving based on your needs. You might want to consider moving to Microsoft 365.
Okay, thank you so much, Joel, for that. And don't worry about the long questions, Damien, that's fine. There seems we're all asking long questions today, which is absolutely fab. It's great. Okay, there's a question for me here, which I'm going to answer about CRM systems. We are also looking at for CRM, and I'll be interested to hear about the different options out there. Which ones are suitable for very small charities? We're looking at Salesforce at the moment, but is this the best option, or which alternatives would you recommend? So I would advise to check out our guide to choosing the right CRM, which James is going to put in there. So it's an easy guide to choosing a CRM system, and Salesforce is great if you have the funds or the personnel to implement and to train with it. For small charities, we would recommend Donor Perfect or begin by Zoho. So I hope that's answered the question for you. Okay, and let's go to our next pre-submitted question here, which is from the company. We are a small charity that runs on a project-by-project basis. At the moment, we have no cybersecurity whatsoever. Most of the time, I would imagine that this would not be an issue. However, when we do run projects, we can cost between 5,000 and 80,000. We are quite busy and there's lots of emails, invoices. Our question is, should we be thinking of having any cybersecurity, and is it available at a small price? Because we are not a wealthy charity. And that's from Stephen. And he says that he's looking forward to meeting us all tomorrow. And Stephen, I really hope that you're on here as well. Thank you for your question. Joel, would you like to take a stab at this one?
Yeah, of course. So firstly, whether you're a small charity, micro charity, or a super major, as some people like to call it, cybersecurity is absolutely vital in this day and age now. The reason being, you may or may not be aware of this, but charities are one of the most targeted types of organizations by cyber criminals in the world, and they're up there with things like banks or government and things like that. As a small charity, you might see, well, why would they want to come to us? And there's many different reasons, but some of it can simply quite come down to things like trolling as well. And perhaps some cyber criminals are testing their ways, trying to improve their own sort of hacking and disabling skills by targeting small organizations in that sense as well. So do not take it lightly, whatever size of charity you are. And do remember as well, with something like cybersecurity, which I'm glad that you're now considering, is that it would always be cheaper for you to actually purchase cybersecurity software rather than pay to deal with the costs of if you were to be at the end of a cybersecurity attack. It could cripple your charity financially and possibly end it. There's been many examples of that. So yeah, there are some, in terms of options, there are multiple options for cybersecurity out there for charities, and we certainly provide a few cybersecurity options ourselves. Obviously, Avast comes highly recommended by ourselves. One of the main reasons being is that our Avast products are actually deployed via the cloud. The reason why this is a really good point is that many cybersecurity products require a physical installation. So that means we live in a world of hybrid working now. You won't need to physically be present to protect a device that you're looking at. And also as well, which also gets forgotten about and is one of the drawbacks in terms of accessing charitable licenses, is that if something were to happen to a device that has a cybersecurity license on it, so if you were to change devices, it would become broke or stolen or something like that, you would actually lose the license in many cases as well. It can be a little bit problematic. So in terms of Avast, because it's deployed in the cloud, if your device were to change within the cloud, you can simply unassign the license from the device that you're no longer using and reassigning it to your new device. So that flexibility just helps you keep your costs low. And overall, Avast is, I could go into details about how many things it scans and that, but just trying to keep it simple here in terms of an overall audience. But it is, it's award-winning cybersecurity software, trusted partner as well. They're part of the Norton family as well. And yeah, like I said, outside of Avast, we also provide things like Norton, as I just mentioned, Bitdefender as well. And if you're using Microsoft 365, you can look at email protection in the form of Windows Defender.
Thank you, Joel. Thank you. I know that we are whizzing through these, but if you do have any questions that may occur to you later on, then on the screen you can see our email addresses there. The customer service, that's for Joel, and also the charity digital mail support, that's for me. If you have any questions about our .digital email marketing platform that we resell as well. We have another question from St. Francis Church. As a small church-based charity, what are the main differences between SharePoint and OneDrive? Do we need Norton security, or does the Microsoft package give us enough safety and security? Joel, there's quite a few questions here. Would you like to answer them one by one, or shall I hit them?
Yeah, if you want to read out the rest of the questions, and then by all means, I'll answer them.
Sure. Okay. So what cybersecurity precautions should we take? And what licenses do we need so people can have an email address to access the system?
Okay, sure. So with the first part, the main differences between SharePoint and OneDrive. So SharePoint is designed for advanced document management. OneDrive is better used for a place to upload, share, and sync files. It's very, very common that these two licenses or apps, should I say, are actually frequently used together, quite commonly. And within Microsoft charity licenses, they are both included in a Microsoft 365 license as standard as well. So you will be using both OneDrive and SharePoint in many instances simultaneously. For the second question regarding the question about Norton, sort of security products and that. So Microsoft, I mentioned a few moments ago, has an add-on called Defender or Windows Defender. Now, it isn't included automatically in all 365 subscriptions, and many organizations will purchase this as an add-on. But there are, like I said, there are some that include it automatically. Microsoft 365 Business Premium, which is a really popular offer for charities, does include Windows Defender.
Okay.
Now, Defender Plan 1, there's two versions of it. So Defender Plan 1, which is included in Business Premium, as I just mentioned, is more protection for emails, but isn't what one would consider an endpoint protection. So it doesn't protect the device, but protects the emails in terms of scanning and malicious links and that. But there is a product called Windows Defender Plan 2, which is both email protection and general endpoint protection as well. It's not something that I've used. I usually, my end, I use a mix of Windows Defender mixed with something else like Avast, for example, but obviously each up to you as an organization what you do. And yeah, like I said, yeah, you can mix and match. You can have something to protect your emails and something to protect as the endpoint. For the third point, regards to cybersecurity precautions, you should definitely visit the National Cyber Security Centre. Like we mention them every time here, they are great friends there for advice and guidance on cybersecurity. They provide some useful free tools for charities as well to help you stay on top of your cybersecurity processes. It provides bite-sized information, can provide you links further into the world of cybersecurity if you're looking at cybersecurity accreditation, cyber essential certification, that type of thing as well. They work with organizations, will recommend you to organizations that can help you with that, such as IASME. And for the last point of your question, in terms of licenses, so if your question regarding if we need people, what licenses do we need so people can have email address to access system? If your question is regarding 365, we'd recommend taking advantage of Business Premium, like I mentioned, for your first 10 users, as the price is highly discounted, and it also comes with Windows Defender. We'd also recommend using Microsoft 365 Business Basic for users who might have maybe some more simple needs of your organization, so perhaps part-timers, that type of thing. Those who don't need all the bells and whistles of some of the features that comes with a Business Premium license, but they might just need to log in and do emails, upload a few documents, that kind of thing. A mix and match of those two will help you keep your costs low.
Lovely, thank you, Joel. That was so informative. That's so good. So thank you, and thank you, James, for putting more links in there as well. Whilst on the topic, there is a question from the chat. Is it advisable to continue with Mimecast if organization moving to MS, which is Microsoft 365? Also, is there an upgrade to Mimecast imminently?
Sure. I was speaking a little bit about Mimecast with my head of IT recently, actually. So I can understand why a lot of organizations use Mimecast. It can have it's primarily a good thing in terms of Mimecast, but if Mimecast goes down, it can cause a lot of delay at your end. I know that Mimecast in the past have had some outages which have really heavily impacted businesses and other charities that use Mimecast with it. So Mimecast, I get it's up to you. Maybe you might want to do some research into, maybe look into their outages history and see how common it is because it did certainly impact people. I'm not a massive follower of Mimecast myself, so I can't comment if there's a new version of it imminent at the moment, but you might want to, I'm sure Mimecast has various forms of media out there, social media, that kind of thing, or they could be contacted. So you might want to double check with them if there are any new versions on the way.
Great, brilliant. Thank you, Joel. Thanks. Okay, we have got just one last question that was pre-submitted, and then we're going to move over to the questions that have been placed in the chat today. So Salem Health Project is asking, for micro or small organizations struggling to buy equipment, which kind of free softwares are safe to use that you would recommend? Antivirus or web providers, for example, Wix, and hosting space, for example, Just Host. There is another question as well, Joel, which I'm going to read out as well. Yeah. Yep. Some laptops come with Microsoft 365 for 1 year, and afterwards you have to renew it with fees. If not, many troubles appear to perform some programs with that equipment. How do we go about managing these troubles?
Understood. Yeah, thank you for that question. So I'm going to play my free tech webinar card one more time. So yeah, by all means, and check out our free tech article for sure. In terms of yeah, just to look at the freebies out there. In terms of organizations that we work with, one freebie you can take advantage of is the charity.domain. So you can get a free charity domain for your organization. A link will go in there shortly. You mentioned Wix. We do work with Wix, but there's not like, we don't provide sort of free offers for them, but we do provide you access to discounted rates for some of the Wix plans. So a link will go up that in a moment. We spoke a little bit antivirus about today as well. Obviously Avast, Norton, Bitdefender are some of your options. Again, not free options. I know if you're looking at free, I mean, Avast are associate, obviously their previous sort of name is ABG, which is their previous name. That's how they're originally known. I haven't checked out that side of things in a few years. I used to use it when I was younger, as it was a free software. So you might want to double check that out for sure. But with free, any time of free software, it always comes with its limitations. So it's you know, advise that you should be able to, you should spend some budget on some of your cybersecurity side of things as well, especially if there's a small charity. As a small charity, if you've only got a few devices, then you should be able to, you should try at least to make a budget for some sort of discounted cybersecurity software as well. I mean, for example, for Avast, you've got protection for 1 year for £6 for one device. So that's just like a starting point in terms of costs. In terms of your other question regarding Microsoft, so the Microsoft license that is included when you purchase a laptop for the first time is usually something called Microsoft 365, either family or individual. Now, these licenses, according to Microsoft T's and C's, which there are many of them, but they are not actually licensed for business use. So charities would fall under that. So ideally, you want to move away from this licensing type as soon as possible to fall in line with the T's and C's of Microsoft and to avoid any investigations, which they definitely do for sure. To move away from that, I would then suggest going over to create a Microsoft 365 admin portal on the Microsoft non-profit portal. So create a portal for your entire organization. I mentioned this a few questions ago, where you can have all your emails in one place, and there's highly discounted rates available for charities as well. We provide, for example, Microsoft licenses at 90 pence per month, or you can go annual options as well. So by all means, just to fall in line with Microsoft and to keep the consistency of your licenses as well, definitely move over to the charity option rather than using the family/personal licenses for 365. As like you said, I've come across a few scenarios where charities have been using the family or individual licenses and they've struggled to renew them. It's not the first time that I've heard that. So yeah, move over across to charity licenses as soon as possible.
Great, thank you, Joel. And if you would like to ask a question, please put it in the chat. We're going to be looking over these now. We did have one from Isabella, and This was also answered in the chat. Any tips on where to find some trusted IT support? Our current IT support isn't working well for us. And there was a recommendation from Cara Networks, works well for the organisation that are using it. And they are also third sector focused. So, yep, that was posted in the chat. Thank you so much for that recommendation.
I suggest, sorry, Liz, just to cut off what you're moving on there. Sorry, I was just going to suggest for our one for that, you might want to look at Click IT for Charities. Really great partner in terms of managed services, IT support, and work with other organisations as well that might, if you're looking to implement anything like a CRM software or anything like that as well. So check out Click IT for Charities as well. They're really good.
And correct me if I'm wrong as well. There's good IT support from a company called Indigo. So that's is that Isabella that made that comment in there? So long-term relationship with them, and Isabella is happy to pass on details. No, sorry, that was from Louise from Voluntary Impact, and that was for Isabel as well in the chat. If you have missed that. So yep, that's Indigo there. Thank you, Joel, for putting your recommendation in as well. Thank you. So yeah, just moving on to our next question. Any recommendations for a good image database service, ideally with charity rates? James.
Yes, so I may potentially combine this with the next question because the answer is the same. So through the Charity Digital Exchange, you can get access to 10 free licenses of Adobe Express. So it's similar to Canva, but it's completely free, saves you £99 per person per year. So I'll post that link in the chat. Through that, you can get royalty-free images. So if you are looking for completely free ones, then that's a really good place to start. Generally, apart from that, I would look up, if we are looking for something with a non-profit discount, we will just type into a search engine, royalty-free images, non-profit discount. And most of the time there is a section of their website that has that. And then the next one was about looking for a good social media scheduling platform. So again, Adobe Express can do that for you. Which is really useful. And then you can also get a discount to Hootsuite, which seems to be really popular through the Charity Digital Exchange. Again, that will, through the link that you click, it'll take you to the Hootsuite website and you should be able to get a non-profit discount. So I'll paste that here. But I can see that Rachel said that they meant a database service to save our own images. So for that, I will pass to Joel.
So the images, sorry.
A database, I guess a database option. Is there one from Microsoft that we can use?
Well, in terms of database wise, I mean, the main database of Microsoft itself would be Dynamics in terms of CRM database and that, but it's again kind of similar to the Salesforce, is that it's if you've got the funds to invest in training or even bring on someone on board who's an expert, it can be a little bit tricky to implement on that side of things in terms of database wise.
Yeah, I guess you could use OneDrive potentially for that. Is that
yeah, in terms of holding the images. Sorry, yeah, misunderstood. Yeah, in terms of that for sure, for OneDrive could be one thing. There's many different ways to sort of store the documents. Yeah, go Liz.
Yeah, Rachel has shared in the chat as well that SharePoint lets you tag. So yeah, to save images and tags. If anyone is using anything else as well, please share your recommendations with us. So that's great. Okay, thank you. We'll move on to another question. Any suggestions for a good, affordable password manager?
Yeah, so I can see in the chat recommended by David that NordPass helps them as well. So thank you for that recommendation as well. Also, a recommendation from our end is one called Dashlane as well, which is pretty popular with our user base. It's something that's available on the Charity Digital Exchange at a discount as well. Wasn't able to find the link in time for that one, but James is on that. But yeah, check out Dashlane for password managers.
Okay, James, are there any more questions in the chat? I believe we've had a couple that have come in directly, but if I've missed one, then please let me know.
Yeah, I think for now, we've had the chat ones, but then I think there were a few more from the initial form, weren't there?
Yeah, that's right. So I'll move on to those. If anyone does want to ask a burning question, please put it in the chat, or else we will be finishing after we cover some other questions that we've had sent to us as well. So we've got a question. This is for me, actually. Does .digital non-for-profit platform allow you to embed videos in emails? This is a question that I am asked quite often with my clients that are on board with that use .digital, and also with other sort of clients that are using our other products, and they have this question. So with the Easy Editor, with the .digital marketing platform that we do resell on with discounted prices, you can use the video block to add video thumbnails to your campaigns. And this is used to host the video on the location that you're hosting it. So it'll open up a new browser window. You can embed a video by inserting JavaScript in the source code. However, I would say that it's something that you have to be wary of because emails and videos isn't that reliable in the same way as a website-based video is. It won't work on all of your email recipients. So you do have to do extensive testing with that. So you just have to be wary. Yeah. So let's go to another question. Joel, have you any experience of compiling a cyber strategy?
So me personally, no. However, Cyber Essentials is a great place to start looking. So another shout out to the National Cyber Security Centre. Again, lots of resources for cyber strategies. We also have a template for charity boards to help put the right protocols in place as well. And we can get a link up to that shortly for you as well in a few moments. But yeah, anything cybersecurity, first stop shop, always the National Cyber Security Centre for sure.
Great, thank you very much for that, Joel. Thank you. Let's just go over to another question that we've had submitted as well. And another one is, I am a CIC, which Joel, you will explain what it is, and what can I access with regards to products?
Okay, so community interest companies. Yeah, as you're probably aware, unfortunately, UK non-profits don't have the exact same access as UK charities do for one reason or another. But we at Charity Digital certainly recognise the importance of non-profit or non-profit types such as community interest companies and how impactful that they have on the UK. But with most of our products, there are eligibility requirements set by our partners with the requirement of organisations to be a charity. However, a couple of the partners that we do work with are able to serve non-profit organisations. Number one, another shout out to Avast, so you can get discounted rates for Avast cybersecurity products like antivirus. They will also help non-profits as well. Obviously, something very close to home there for you, Liz, .digital for non-profits as well, if you want to elaborate on that a little bit.
Yep, certainly. We actually offer .digital, as I've said, I don't know how many times in this session now. And yep, it's available for organizations that aren't charities, and also available for companies that work with charities as well. So we have lots of clients on board, such as even NHS trusts or hospices or organizations that have a client base that is pure charity. So feel free to ask any questions on that or to get in contact with myself. Shall we just...
I was going to say a shout out as well on that same question, just a shout out to In-Kind Direct as well, who have been around for many, many years now, helped founded by our king many years ago. And they provide all sorts of donations to charities, but also to non-profit organisations as well. This could be in the form of something from hardware, so discounted hardware and that type of thing, but also to other gifts as well, whether it's to help people clean or even toys, things like that as well, which if that's associated with the mission of your non-profit as well. So yeah, if you fall in that category, and anyone here who hasn't checked them out before, definitely get in contact with or check out In Kind Direct for sure. They're a great organization.
Yeah, they are. They're fantastic, and the link is in the chat. So that's great. Okay, we do have another one here, and this has been mentioned in the chat earlier today. And we are looking at social media scheduling platform Hootsuite. Have you any advice on this? And I would imagine that quite a few people here are possibly using Hootsuite as a social media marketing platform. And it does allow you to promote content and increase engagement and to streamline your customer service. And you can access up to 75% off their rates by accessing their website through us, through Charity Digital Exchange. And James is going to put in there a link that you can use for your validation. So charities can also access up to 10 free licenses of Adobe Express, which also has great social media scheduling as well. And you can access assets for your social media. So yes, that is all the questions that have been submitted to us today. If anyone else does have a question, then please do so. Please put your question in the box. If not, I will ask Joel to switch over to our last slide.
We have had a few more come through the chat.
Okay, great. Right, let me go up to the chat there. Thank you. Thanks for that. Right, okay, yep, a good question here. What website hosting products would you recommend, please?
Yeah, website hosting. I mean, we've mentioned a few times Wix already today, and they have discounts for charities as well. Very popular product. Always getting queries about Wix, so for sure to check them out. And another mention today, lots of repeating and stuff today. For your domain name, if you need that, check out the free charity domain offer as well.
Okay, brilliant. Thank you, Joel. And we've got another question here. We are looking for a partner consultant who can develop a bespoke product, including case management, reporting on form fields, and timesheet capability, but quite complex. Different people with different rates and different across different times during the day. Do you know of any good consultancy partners that could support finding a solution?
Sure. So as a starting point, as a starting point, because we don't work with anyone specifically for those specific requirements. However, you might want to check out Digital Candle, which was mentioned in our recent free tech webinar and article. So they are able to, they provide, I believe it's 60 minutes of free consultations with tech by tech experts, which sort of volunteer their time to help provide more impact to the charity sector. So if you visit, take a look at the Digital Candle. We'll get some links at the end as well, but it is mentioned in our free tech webinar, and see if you can get a consultation with them as a starter point. Great thing about them is if they're not able to immediately find someone there for you, they will go out of their way to find somebody that can help design that for you.
Okay, great. Thank you, Joel. Thank you for that. Okay, so another question here. Okay, so is it advisable to use email addresses on a website, or should contact forms be used and not email addresses?
Divided opinion on that one, at least from my experience. I can see the value of having forms over email addresses to stop spam, obviously, as well. But in terms of things like traffic and providing interest in your organization, having an email address on the website can humanize you a little bit. We are in an age now where patience does tend to wear thin in terms of people staying on board and engaged, and having to fill out forms just to answer a question or that kind of thing. We all have to do it, but it's what we find now is if data does need to be collected in the form of forms, most sort of forward-thinking organizations will try and keep the fields to minimum questions. So I guess there isn't a definitive answer, but I can definitely see if you're going down the form route, for sure, keep it as concise as possible. Don't have too many fields, just to ensure that the traffic coming towards your website is actually engaged and does want to work with your organization, for sure.
Okay, great. Thank you, Joel. And we have a last question. Has anyone used a product called Infuse?
Certainly heard it. Go,
That's
James.
open for everybody here. Please,
Yeah.
please answer this. If you have used this or you're using this, it would be great to have your recommendations.
Yeah, feel free to contribute in the chat. Infuse are actually one of our partners. So just for everyone's context, they're a fundraising, donations and events platform, which just has helped quite a lot of charities raise a lot of money. So they have various different features, but I'll send the link around now for anyone interested, and you can request a demo with them if you want to explore the features. So I will paste that now. But yes, it's a very good donation and fundraising platform.
Yeah, great. Thank you. Thanks for pasting that, James. Are there any more questions in the chat, or have I covered it now? I think that's it.
You've covered it.
Yep. Okay, thank you. Joel, could you just switch over to the next slide for me, please? And it's for us to say thank you very much for attending. We really appreciate your time. And please, obviously, you'll be receiving the feedback afterwards. And please take some time just to give us your thoughts, as I mentioned right at the beginning. And our next webinar is listed there on the slide. It would be a very exciting webinar. So if you want to join up for that. And it's just a case of saying goodbye. And thank you so much for being with us and for sharing this time.
Thank you very much for joining us today, everyone. Really been a pleasure. And yeah, give us some feedback, constructive, good or bad, helps improve our services. And
it certainly does.
Yes, thank you, everyone.